really the thing that made Cade special and makes him special is, one, his feel for the game, but two, it's his incredible thirst for knowledge about the game. He has a high level thirst for knowledge. Me and him would talk about plays and sets and players at a level that most players aren't looking at and most players just don't talk about.
Got you all in my view, but I've been busy chasing dreams. I got more than a few. I'll get there in due time, but for now I ask the Lord, what's my purpose? I find as soon as I start searching, right below the surface. Yeah, it's right below the surface.
My name is Ben Witherspoon. I was basketball coach at Dr. Phillips High School. I was born in Buffalo, New York. I was there till I was about 7 years old. Family wanted to move away from the cold. Snows all the time there. Not a whole lot of fun in Buffalo all the time. So we used to come down to Disney. They used to bring us down to theme parks and have fun in the summer. And my family decided to move us down to Ormond Beach, Florida. So I was raised in Ormond Beach, it's right outside Daytona Beach.
What made you realize that basketball was your passion, and when did that happen?
I really don't even know when I realized that basketball was a passion because it's just been there my whole life is what it feels like. I started playing when I was 7. Ever since then, it's been only basketball. I literally didn't play any other sports when I was a kid because I didn't want to. I didn't play one season of football, baseball, nothing. I just have loved basketball, and it's been a part of my life since I was a kid.
Tell us about someone who's had a major impact on your life growing up.
The person that's probably had the biggest impact on me growing up was my mother. My mother played college basketball. She played high school basketball, but she was finance executive for her career. So a leader every day is what she was. So, and then, just overall loving. She supported me in everything I did, no matter, how good I played, how bad I played. She was always there. She's at every game. The biggest impact she probably had on me was leadership. She showed me how to be a leader. She was always telling me how to approach different situations, how to communicate in different situations. Obviously, when you're young, you don't want to hear it. You don't want to speak that way. You sound like a nerdy adult or whatever you want to say, but she prepared me for life and being a leader. Her overall view on life of you can't control what happens to you, but you can 100% control how you respond to it, and you're 100% responsible for that response is the biggest lesson that she's given me. It's something that I take with me every day and something I pass down to our players because it affects your life. It affects the way you play in basketball. There's all kinds of things going to happen, but you're responsible for your response. You got Wi-Fi in here?
Nope.
You're doing yoga at midnight, bro. What are you talking about? By yourself? All right. Advice to my past self would probably be something that I tell my players now and all the young people I come in contact with now is to give your energy towards things that are going to make a difference later in your life. Your GPA is going to stay with you. If you give enough to basketball and you have the talent, that will affect your life in a great positive way. I would tell myself, just give all your energy to school and basketball. I remember, stressing out about things that you look back at, it just doesn't matter. Just don't matter. There's people in your life at that time that aren't going to be in your life later on. Your family's always going to be in your life later on, and you give the time to your family, give the time to school, give the time to basketball, because those are the things that matter. Most memorable experience I've had, without question, is when 7A state championship in 2021 with Dr. Phillips High School. I grew up here in Florida, so winning a state championship is something that I wanted as a player my whole high school career. But beyond that, as a coach here in Orlando, I coached right here in this area, Meadowwoods, at Cypress Creek High School, and we were struggling and working really, really hard to just be a 500 team, and winning a district championship would have felt like winning the NBA Finals at Cypress Creek. So winning that state championship, meant everything to me. Winning is everything to me in my life, and giving that experience to our players and our program, and winning the first state championship in school history was major, obviously, for all of our players in our school. And then for everybody that grew up with me as well, I mean, and then everybody at Cypress Creek too, I mean, in this area, I felt like I winning that state championship was for Ormond Beach, Daytona Beach, and people I grew up with playing at Phillips High School, for the kids that I coached at Cypress Creek and all the other places I've coached. It wasn't just about me.
What are 3 tips to help players get more playing time?
To help you get more playing time, number one, you need to recognize who's in charge of that playing time and how you can get more playing time. Your head coach and your assistant coaches are normally the people that are in charge of that playing time. So one thing I would say is listen to what your coaches are asking you to do and do those things. Number 2 would be to play every single possession like it's your last possession. In practice, in the game, it's going to help your coach know that you're taking it serious and how much it means to you. And the third thing I would say is to be in the right spots defensively at all times, executing the coverages that your coach has asked you to, and then offensively, know all of your sets.
I'll never get it.
That changes my tip. Like, that should be the first tip. It's like, do what people tell you to do. They're not trying to hurt you.
What are 3 things that could cause players to lose playing time?
The first thing that I would say would cause players to lose playing time is not being able to handle pressure. If you can't take care of the ball, you just can't play. The second thing I would say that would cause players to lose playing time is selfishness. And a lot of people think selfishness is taking bad shots and being selfish offensively, but you can also be selfish defensively and care about getting steals only and runouts and only getting layups. So I would say just overall selfishness will get you out of the game. The third thing I would say that would cause a player to lose playing time is throughout the course of a season not improving on the things your coach has asked you to improve on. Your coach might think that you're just not paying attention and that it's not as important to you because you're not getting better at the things that he's asking you to get better at.
What's one common misconception players have about the game of basketball?
One common misconception that players have is, I think it's wanting to only emulate the superstars that have the ball the entire time in the game. There are a small percentage of players in the world that play isolation basketball and are able to have the ball that much. I think players should focus more in training on what to do off the ball, on how to read a closeout, on all those things outside of ISO situations, because most players just aren't in those situations in games, and it's about playing well in games.
Over your career, what are some characteristics that your top players had in common?
Top players I've coached in my career, guys that are in the NBA, characteristics they've had, one is they're guys that like basketball. Some guys love it and some guys live it. Those guys live basketball. Their lives are designed around their workouts and basketball. There's nothing more important to them than their own improvement in their game. And then secondly, all those guys had incredible feel for the game. And just from getting to know them in their childhood and their basketball background, it comes from playing a lot of basketball and playing against defenders. There's too many guys, I think, that work out by themselves against cones on air. The game is played with defense. That's how you develop a great feel for the game is by playing against defenders and making decisions in games. So big on living for the game and having great feel.